6:48, time for the morning rush. An Albuquerque man has now put up signs for Balloon Fiesta visitors to see some of the worst things about New Mexico. Joseph DeGangi's billboards, they read, quote, "NM national rankings, lowest in education, highest crime and drug use. Why can't we do better?" Now, he says it's about asking New Mexicans to reflect and improve upon. We did reach out to the governor's office. A spokesperson said they have not seen the billboards, so they can't comment.
In just a few hours, state lawmakers will be convening at the Roundhouse for a special legislative session. Yesterday, the governor issued a proclamation calling on lawmakers to tackle federal funding cuts to Medicaid, SNAP benefits, and public broadcasting. The special session starts today at noon.
Presbyterian Hospital has officially opened its newly renovated pediatric unit. According to the hospital, the remodel focuses on improving single occupancy rooms, each with private bathrooms and a space for parents where they can stay. It also includes adding floor-to-ceiling windows, refreshing areas, and a whole lot more. Ryan.
And in the higher elevations, it'll be a little bit cool, but in the lower elevations, it'll be warming up ahead. In the upper 70s, 80s, and even for some areas in the Pecos River Valley into the Permian Basin, the low 90s. Even warmer tomorrow into Friday. Then a storm system will briefly cool things off a bit on Saturday.
New Mexico's film industry is now getting a massive upgrade with a new studio on the New Mexico State University campus. The $15 million complex on Arrowhead Park broke ground yesterday. Well, that project is scheduled to be complete sometime by the end of next year.
Albuquerque's west side will soon be the home of a new indoor sports complex. City leaders have reached a deal to buy the nearly 13 acres of land on the southwest corner of Coors and St. Joseph's for $7.7 million. Phase 1 of the project includes a building with enough room for 8 full-size basketball courts.
We're getting a look now at the attendance numbers from this year's New Mexico State Fair. State Fair officials say that the 514,000 visitors that they saw this year is the second highest attendance since the fair went to an 11-day format back in 2012. The livestock sale raised more than $738,000. Next year's fair will coincide with the Route 66 Centennial. It is set for September the 10th through the 20th. Ryan.
And temperatures will be climbing ahead, and that will continue 8 to 14 days out. Very likely warmer than normal for much of the Rio Grande Valley to the southeast, leaning warmer in the Four Corners. And eventually through the early to middle parts of October, we'll deal with even more precipitation, more likely ahead throughout New Mexico.
U.S. forest officials will soon start cleanup in a large area of land full of overgrown trees and deteriorating roads. The Encino Vista Landscape Restoration Project will clean up over 120,000 acres of land. This part of the forest was damaged by the Blackfeather Fire in 2023. The U.S. Forest Service says it could take up to a decade to get all that work done.
The state is now seeking public suggestions on how to smooth out congestion at the Big I. NMDOT is now looking to upgrade the ramps that funnel drivers from both directions of I-40 to northbound I-25. Which usually experiences the regular backups and bottlenecks. NMDOT is now taking public comment on the ideas now through the October the 15th. If you'd like to weigh in, we have a link and you can find it at KRQE.com. Ryan.
And taking a look at the morning drive, no major slowdowns out there, but there is an accident reported in I-25 southbound near the Jefferson exit. So just take it easy on the roadways. And taking a look right now at the Big I, we do notice that I-40 eastbound is starting to slow down a little bit, slightly below the speed limit. So take it easy on the roads, and we'll have more updates later on.
Brown bear with a broken jaw, nicknamed Chunk, is crowned the winner of the Fat Bear Week. Chunk finally finished first in the competition after placing second to the last 3 years. Well, the yearly contest allows viewers to watch 12 bears on live webcams. It's in Alaska's Katmai National Park and Preserve. Contest organizers predict that Chunk weighs about 1,200 pounds. This year's competition received more than 1.5 million votes from fans.
And now it's time for the 5 facts.
At number 5, Albuquerque's west side will soon be the home of a new indoor sports complex. City leaders have reached a deal to buy the nearly 13 acres of land on the southwest corner of Coors and St. Joseph's for $7.7 million. Phase 1 of the project includes a building with enough room for 8 full-size basketball courts. The city hopes the facility can host sporting events and tournaments for wrestling, cheer, and indoor soccer. It'll be named after the late city councilor Ken Sanchez, who pitched the idea more than a decade ago.
At number 4, following devastating wildfires that scorched homes and forests in New Mexico, U.S. forest officials they will start tackling a large area of land that is full of overgrown trees and deteriorating roads. It is called the Encino Vista Landscape Restoration Project, and it has been in the works now for 6 years. The cleanup will cover 120,000 acres of land. Part of the work will be removing trees, thinning out the forest, prescribed burns, and reducing overall risk for wildfires. Work is scheduled to start next week.
And at number 3, we're going to be warming up and drying out. Plenty of sunshine to go around. Very dry for today and tomorrow. More spotty to isolated storms that will form later in the week into the early weekend.
At number 2, as Albuquerque gets ready for hundreds of thousands of visitors for Balloon Fiesta, one man has put up signs for them to see some things about the worst parts of New Mexico. Now, through his LLC, landoфenchantment.org, Joseph DeGangi, who has lived here for 40 years, paid $5,000 for the 5 billboards. They read, quote, NM national rankings, lowest in education, highest crime and drug use. Why can't we do better? Well, not all sources have New Mexico at the bottom of these lists. The boards include a link to his website to sources he says support his claims.
And at number 1, in just a few hours, state lawmakers will be convening at the Roundhouse for a special legislative session. Yesterday, the governor issued a proclamation calling out lawmakers to tackle federal funding cuts to Medicaid, SNAP benefits, and public broadcasting. Lawmakers are also expected to address health insurance exchange eligibility, the Rural Health Care Delivery Fund, and criminal competency laws. The special session starts at noon.